The Twisted Road Course, Watkins Glen International in Watkins Glen, New York, where today the NASCAR Busch Series takes to the track, trying to conquer this challenging course with some Busch Series veterans facing the stars of the Nextel Cup Series and some road racing stars that are here as well. It should be an interesting day on NBC. Take a look at the Busch Series championship standings. After 23 of the 35 races this season, Martin Truex Jr. with 6 wins has been outstanding. And there's Clint Bowyer, Reed Sorensen, Carl Edwards, and Kenny Wallace. We heard from him, rounding out the top 5 all the way back to Paul Menard, now in the 10th spot. Cars rolling off pit road here at the Glen. Here is the starting grid for today's Zippo 200. At Watkins Glen, on the pole, the hottest driver in NASCAR, Tony Stewart. Right next to him, Casey Kane. Then you've got Robbie Gordon and Ryan Newman and Martin Truex Jr. and Paul Menard in row 3.
In row 4 on the inside, Brian Vickers, Carl Edwards on the outside. Boris Said, true road racer in row 5, Joe Nemechek, Ashton Lewis, and Greg Biffle in row 6.
Take you back to row 7. There's Scott Pruitt. We talked to him. Denny Hamlin, the young driver in the 20 car. Dale Jarrett, former series champion, along with Tyler Walker and Chris Cook.
Wally Diamondback, Carlos Contreras out of Mexico, Jeff Burton, Paul Wolf, Michael Waltrip, and Brent Sherman.
Row 13, Regan Smith and Reed Sorensen, Johnny Sauter, Travis Kvapil. In row 15, Jamie McMurray and Justin Labonte.
Row 16, Stacy Compton, Kenny Wallace. Inside of row 17, Busch North driver Matt Kobieluk, Ron Fellows. He will be going forward, hopefully in the 43 car.
Row 19, David Green and Randy LaJoy. J.J. Yaley, David Stremme in row 20. Back in row 21, Clint Bowyer and Stanton Barrett.
And 43rd spot, Steve Grissom.
And on the past champions provisional.
And a huge list of drivers that failed to qualify. Elliott Sadler probably leading that list.
And take a look at the guys dropping to the back of the field today.
Stanton Barrett had an engine problem during qualifying, had to change an engine.
Same with the 2.
Johnny Sauter missed the driver's meeting.
And so did Tyler Walker. And the 18 made a transmission change.
Oh, check out Robbie Gordon in the 5 car.
He had about 18 laps to plan that, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's definitely really good at getting in the corners under braking, so you knew that was coming.
Oh, and Casey Kane got wide up through turn 2. But he's now got the car back under control. Did Robbie Gordon flat spot that right front tire, left front tire? My concern.
It looked like he smoked it pretty hard, so it's a good possibility.
This is the backstretch. Now the right-hander into the inner loop or the chicane. If you miss that, you have to stop. Otherwise, NASCAR will bring you to pit road for a pass-through penalty. That's Tony Stewart in the 33, Robbie Gordon in the 55. Our first lap under green. Will they come down pit road this time? Marty.
Hey guys, the tire for Robbie Gordon is fine. You radioed the crew, everything's okay. They have a problem though. They cannot pit when everybody else pits. The 33 in front of them, Tony Stewart, will pit this time. Robbie's got to stay out for 3 or 4 green flag laps before he can hit pit road.
So Robbie Gordon gets around Tony Stewart. They come out of 7 down the front stretch. Here comes Stewart to pit road.
And I think this is a good move. Anytime you can pit before everybody else, I mean, it's going to pay off in the end.
But now Tony Stewart can't make it. He's going to have to stop one more time before the day's over.
But he'll be able to run on clean racetrack, and when you can get out there and run on clean racetrack and do the things you need to do, it makes it a lot easier.
Everybody from Joe Nemechek on back, basically also on pit road. It's a busy place. Tony Stewart headed for Marty.
Coming down pit road, this was the plan all along. Whenever we talked about it while they were running under the caution in the green, it's going to be a fuel-only stop for Tony Stewart. No tires on the stop. Mark Tudor, the crew chief, told me from here we can make it on one stop, but he stalls the car leaving pit road, fires it, now he's away.
Well, that's a couple of seconds it cost you.
Yeah, it cost a couple seconds, and that's one thing that's really hard about the road races is the gear ratios are, are so high, and it's so hard to get out of the pits, and it's hard to take off.
There's Joe Nemechek coming out behind Tony, and there's your race leader, Robbie Gordon. Casey Kane behind him, and Ryan Newman, Truex, and Menard. The top 5 last time by. And let's see what happens this time.
I tell you, that 8 car back there at the test and all weekend here has been really strong. He's got a lot of experience up here and really knows how to get around this place.
That's Martin Truex Jr., your championship leader. Boris Said is on pit road. Ashton Lewis Jr. A lot of early pit stops here, basically because you have to run this race backwards. You want to pit as soon as your window opens. Dave.
A lot less confusion down here on pit road now for Boris Said. He fills it up, and he's already gone. And his teammate, Johnny Sauter, will come in as well. Nearly gets hit by Regan Smith. They clear. Johnny Sauter will fuel the car, and he'll be gone.
Newman all over Kane here. Newman in the 39. Casey Kane in the 6. This is going to be wild to watch.
Yeah, like I said before the race started, I mean, this is one thing that makes our sport so great, is everyone is on different strategies here. You've got a lot of guys that pitted right on the first lap. Some of the guys came in, and these guys obviously don't feel that they can run that far on fuel.
Now, Johnny Sauter made a pit stop in the 1 car. He was over the line. They fuel the car anyway, and NASCAR is holding the 1 car in the pit, so that strategy did not work.
Yeah, and you see Martin Truex dipping in the pits right there, and he's obviously got to play it a little bit more conservative than Tony Stewart or some of these guys that pitted right off the bat. They're here to win the race, and he's here to, gain points for a championship. So there's a lot of different scenarios playing out and a lot of different reasons why.
Martin Truex heading down pit road toward Marty as Robbie Gordon continues to lead. Snides.
He's coming down pit road, and Kevin Mannion told me, he said, man, I can't believe those guys think they can get that good of fuel mileage. I thought we were in pretty good a shape. So they're going to get fuel only again for the 8 car, and he had no complaints with the chassis in their first few green flag laps. He does not stall the car leaving pit road.
As we watch these guys go around, Kevin, just give us a little of the nuances. 40 cars slow after spinning. Carlos Contreras trying to get back up the speed. Some of the nuances of this course. It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. It's really a challenging track to drive.
It's very challenging, and where you see Carlos coming in his last corner right here, coming down the front stretch, and you come up a hill right here, and you go into turn 1 and crest down the hill into the corner. So, then you downshift a couple times right here going into the first corner, and as you come up off the corner, you go up through the S's and climb probably 7 or 8 stories. So it's a lot of elevation change.
There we see Carlos Contreras. Around he goes.
He just lost it.
Yeah.
And that's where you were saying the car has a tendency to get loose there. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you're really on the left side, rolled over right here. Well, he hit the curve.
Yeah. Right in front of Wally.
Yeah. Wally did a good job avoiding. But that curve is about 4 or 5 inches tall, and it's just got a little bit of angle to it, and if you hit it, it just rips the tire out from underneath you, and you spin out just like that.
Robbie Gordon leads. Tony Stewart scored in 23rd last time by. Where Stewart has already been on pit road.
Robbie's had so much success on these road courses.
Boy, you're not kidding.
2003, he had helped us out a lot at RCR with our road course program, and you got Casey Kane, who's only been here twice, and so it's
Thinking the video game might be involved there for Casey. We'll have to check into that. Robbie Gordon leads, Kane 2nd, Ryan Newman 3rd. Marty?
Robbie's had so much success, Bill, here and also at all the road course races. And he said, you know, I felt like I owed it to my race team to race after Mexico City. They started second there, had a great car, then had an engine failure and wound up finishing 40th in that race. He said, I know the car could have won the race, and I want to prove it today. He told me right before the race started, he said, the one car I have to beat, Tony Stewart and Martin Truex. Actually, the two cars I have to beat, Tony Stewart and Martin Truex. And we'll see if this strategy helps or hurts Robbie Gordon by staying out so long.
Oh, it's going to be fun to figure out.
Yeah, and you see on the racetrack, you know, it's so interesting to sit here and think about the strategies. I mean, is he really think that he can only go 4 or 5 laps in the pit, or is he planning on just going to halfway and then coming in once? I don't know if they're telling us the whole story.
Well, that's right.
See Casey waving his hand. He's getting ready to come in the pits, and he's just letting Ryan know that he's going to slow down more than normal in the last corner here to get down on the pit road.
6 is expected on pit road this time by. That's Casey Kane. Ryan Newman right behind him. And coming with him. Alan, right to you.
Casey Kane's team sticking with their original plan. Crew Chief Trip Bruce told me before the start of the race it'd be about lap 25 when they get. This looks like about lap 24 to me. Fuel only, Casey says. The car is good. Marty?
Ryan Newman likes his car. He's going to bring it down pit road, very slowly down pit road here. Watkins, Glen. It'll be fuel only for the 39 car. He just passed for second before they brought him into pit road. Roy McCauley, the crew chief, told me this is the first lap, which we can make it all the way on one more stop. Dave?
The 66 car is already gone. He did not take fuel only. He took fuel plus 2 left side tires. Biffle wanted the left side tires for a little more grip on the 66.
See Biffle coming down pit road. Matt Kobieluk in the 50 car at Busch North, competitor, coming in fuel only as Robbie Gordon completes yet another lap.
I'm thinking, well, now we're told Robbie in this time. So Gordon could be heading to pit road.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting strategy on Biffle's part, taking the 2 tires just for the fact that they, you know, they see Goodyear's brought a great tire and they seem to get faster. Here comes the 55 in the pit road.
He has to go all the way down toward turn 1 at 35 miles per hour. And that just feels like it takes forever for a driver. Guys zipping by on the front stretch.
Yeah, when you're pitting under green and everybody is going by, it's hard to think you're going pit road speed.
Originally, Greg Irwin, the crew chief, said, let's take 4 tires. Robbie said, I don't know if we want to do that, so it's going to be fuel only for the 55 car, Robbie Gordon. This is actually the first lap. They could have made it on one more stop. Their fuel mileage is just terrible, they told me this morning.
Yeah, and that's hard to deal with on a road course when it all comes down to strategy. So, but you can see, obviously, it worked out pretty good for him. He came out in front of everybody. So
sure did. Right there, Q on the hood. Right.
I think Paul's surprised a lot of people this year.
He sure has.
He has done a great job. He's been competitive week in and week out, qualifies well every week, and I know coming into the year, I didn't expect that out of Paul, and he's done a good job.
Green's out. Here we go. Watch turn 1, everybody.
Jeff Burton drives up on the inside of Jorge Getters in the 32 car.
And that's definitely one of your most vulnerable areas right there on the restart, going into turn 1. It's kind of like a pit stop. It's your best chance to get somebody.
You watch the running order at the top of the screen. We will tell you Tony Stewart, the pole sitter, who stopped early in this race. A good strategy move, up to 11. Michael Waltrip, 16th. Wally Dallenbach, 20th.
And Robbie Gordon, who made his pit stop in the 55 car, is up to the 7th position.
Dave.
21 car Jeff Burton running very well right now. They decided to stay out this time for obvious reasons, track position. But Jeff was saying the car was a little bit loose early on in the run. The car wanted to spin out going around these right-hand turns. But the car really came to him at the end of the run. And so at this point, he doesn't want anything done to that car when they do decide to pit.
And to me, the guy to watch is Robbie Gordon. I mean, he's that group back there is still to me on the right strategy.
As Benny said, Gordon.
Uh-oh. Johnny Sauter has stopped on the racetrack. Window net is down.
And that's a bad spot. Full course caution.
And this really plays into the 5 and the 11, the 21, all those guys who hadn't pitted. I mean, these cautions just keep playing right into their hands.
Puts the net down to let everybody know he's okay. But the car continues to sit there. I'm thinking it must have blown up just to be sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, Clint Boyer did it qualifying. Coming out of those last S's, the last turn of the S's up there, it's really easy to put your car from 3rd to 2nd gear, meaning to go to 4th gear, and that'll instantly blow it up.
Dave, what do you know?
Definitely a motor problem for Johnny Sauter. It blew up. Don't know the cause, although they did say to Johnny, when I finally tuned into his frequency, we still love you. So the driver may have taken some responsibility here, and then Johnny responded, talk about not your day. Remember that pit road penalty early, and now this.
It's easy to do.
Carlos Contreras in the 40 car is the lucky dog. Brian Vickers is the race leader in the 5 car. Marty's with his crew chief.
Let's chat with Jim Long. And boy, these cautions keep playing into your hand. How is that so? Explain the strategy.
Well, it looks like we can make it on one stop now, and them cautions just guaranteed it. And them guys can make it on another stop too and go a little bit farther, but they're going to have to stop again later on, and we should take the lead again. So I hope it all works out. We'll have to see. We got a long way to go.
So the theory being, by the time they stop, you'll already be out front, right?
Yeah, 10-4, 10-4.
All right, very happy with the chassis. Brian Vickers reporting to Jim Long, and seems like the strategy's working in their favor too.
Anytime the crew chief is smiling, that's a good sign.
Or he's nervous.
Yeah. We're under caution here at Watkins Glen. Brian Vickers continues to lead Paul Menard, Jeff Burton, and company. You're watching NASCAR. Green's out at the Glen. The field charges toward turn 1.
That's where it gets exciting. Robbie Gordon and Dale Jarrett diving down there.
Jarrett in the 90 car right there inside of Brian Newman. Jarrett has not stopped yet.
And Robbie Gordon was able to get by Jorge Getters, taking over the 4th position.
I still think Robbie's in the catbird seat. He's already pitted. He pitted pretty conservatively and has come out in 4th place. So.
And his car's pretty darn fast.
His car is fast too. You got to have it all.
Robbie, an outstanding road course racer.
And this is Robbie's kind of style of racing. You know, it's a short race. It's basically a sprint race, so you can get everything you can out of the car.
Wow, I was looking to the inside of Jeff Burton there. Jeff Burton in the 21. It's Burton looking back at Robbie Gordon.
Now Robbie Gordon, you know, he didn't think he was going to pass Jeff Burton there. He just wanted to worry him a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll do that. Man, that's a aggressive move right there. You got to have a good car, and you'd be really good under braking to do that. Yeah, but you have to have a good car to do anything, but that's not one of your normal spots to pass.
Robbie Gordon gets a spot.
Now Jeff Burton moved over so Jorge Getters could not get on the inside, but it didn't quite work because Getters in the 32 moves up on the inside of the 21.
That car's going everywhere back there.
Alan, how about Getters in the 32?
Well, Bill, a couple things about him. First of all, they're on the one-stop attempt strategy. Crew Chief Todd Losey says they're going to come in about lap 44 or 45 and be done for the race. The other thing is listening to his team radio. It's a bilingual radio. Jorge speaks excellent English. I've had a couple of conversations with him here at the racetrack, but the number of spotters that they use around the racetrack, well, some of them are members of the Braun Racing team from here in the U.S. One of them is his brother, Eduardo. So when he gets up through the S's, the clear comes in Spanish. And then the rest of the way around the racetrack, it's something I can actually understand.
You think they're saying clear, huh?
Yeah, but it's really neat to listen to.
That's teamwork right there.
Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick's other car.
How many cars you got in this race?
2 cars.
Okay.
Tony's and Wally's, but he's definitely coming back up through there. He's up to 6 now.
Yep.
So
up to 6th.
on
That
the
time
inside
by.
there.
Oh, it's going to be trouble down there. we've heard so many times the driver saying, we've got to keep the fenders on my car. And that's why Tony Stewart backed off there.
Yeah, this place is a lot like our mile-and-a-half racetracks that we go to. You have to keep the front fenders on the car to come up through the S's and not be tight.
Fenders are your friends.
Fenders are your friends. You have to have them to be able to have a chance to win.
Through the inner loop. Report that the 22 car is off the pace.
Yeah, Kenny Wallace, there he is.
That's too bad.
You running now?
That's up in the S's, right?
Something's wrong. I've done everything. There's no power, nothing. I've hit the kill switch. I've done everything. Now you switch on your steering wheel again. Not that. I've done everything. There's no power to nothing.
Yeah, we got to throw the cautions, I guess.
That kill switch he's talking about, that's the automatic shutoff switch, right? You have a reset switch for that if you accidentally hit it?
Yeah, basically what it is, you have to just hit it again to turn it back on. But it's on your steering wheel, and if the throttle hangs or something goes wrong, you hit the button and it shuts the engine off. I've done that before at Bristol. Just hit the button and didn't know what was wrong and didn't figure it out until 2 laps later and had to put the button.
Kenny 5th in the championship standings. Only 1 DNF so far this year. That was at Talladega.
And there he sits.
Yeah.
Matt?
Well, when they finally push that car back to pit road, they're going to jack it up, check the battery. Also, they have a backup set of ignition boxes. They're talking about trying to plug those in as well. Now, you talked about the kill switch. Some teams, including Ryan Newman, they've actually installed a light on their dash when they hit the kill switch. When it's engaged, a light comes on. So what happened to Ryan Newman a couple years ago at Darlington? He lost 8 laps on pit road. That won't happen again to a number of drivers who've gone that route.
Matt, he was going to win that race, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Best car there that day, but the best car didn't go to victory lane.
Steve Grissom gets the lucky dog, the former series champion, the highest scored car not on the lead lap. Will get to come around, tag up to the rear of the field. Kenny Wallace just sits there.
But you knew there was going to be a lot of cautions coming into this race. These guys hadn't been here in a while, and it's a short race, so everybody's pretty aggressive.
They want to show us something. Circle that third car in line there, BP.
Third car in line,
Yeah,
you're talking about Ryan Newman?
Ryan Newman, right there.
That
Let's
one?
see. They want us to watch this, so let's see what happens.
Okay. All right, he's going to try Getters. And Getters, I guess, didn't realize he was there. Oh, man, look at that job that Ryan did keeping control. Man.
That's worth another look.
That was great. That's definitely the dirt car days paying off there.
Wow. Okay, from Tony Stewart's on board.
Oh, he hit the curb.
Caution's out, bud. Caution's out.
39 hit the curb.
Yeah, 39 hit the curb. 32 never got into it.
Marty?
Yeah, BP, there's a funny conversation going on right now between Roy McCauley, the crew chief, and Ryan Newman. He said, hey, they just played the replay on TV. I didn't realize what a good driver you were. And Ryan said, thanks. Earlier, after that happened, he radioed the crew and told the guy sorry. He said, I thought I had him cleared, but I got way too loose and barely hung on to it.
I think barely is a good word.
Yeah. Does he know he hit the curb? Do you think?
He probably just brushed it and unloaded the car there and just, freed it up enough to where it got loose, really loose.
Yeah. Does it cross you up a little bit there and bring it back?
Yeah, when you hit the curbs like that, like I say, it used to be that way up through the S's. It would do the same thing, but they kind of smoothed the curbs out. But did a great job saving it. See if he left any black marks there. I don't see any.
No.
What in the world? Jeff Burton he must be able to make it. Think he can make it the rest of the way? No.
I don't think so, Benny. That's a
They're really full.
Yeah.
He'd have to go 44 laps. Dave, you can see it.
And they were the ones that were going to come earliest under green. Their window opened earliest of all the guys on pit lane. But that was lap 39, so I'm not sure we've quite gotten there yet. He's going to take on 4 tires. He's going to go up on the air pressure on the rear tires because his car had a little trouble turning. Alan?
Well, here's Clint Boyer, second place in the championship in for 4 tires. I did not expect to see him until we got another few laps toward halfway. Maybe they've had enough caution laps, or maybe they think they're going to get enough caution laps to let him go the rest of the way. I'm going to check with Gil Martin, the crew chief, here in just a second.
All right, and we are working lap 39.
And I think what's happening here is they're putting 4 tires on. They're filling their car up with fuel. And then when they get in their window, they're going to gas and go because nobody else has put tires on yet. So they're just trying to save a little time for the next pit stop, I think.
All right, we'll see what happens. Under caution here at Watkins Glen, Brian Vickers has scored the race leader, but it's strategy and strength that are going to win this race. We'll see what happens.
And that will be Jeff Burton, your leader. Remember, he heard the words, "We can make it," early on, right after he pitted. So early on, the prognosticators and the fuel calculators were telling Jeff, you can take it to the end. Out front in clean air, that 21 car is running great. Marty.
Meanwhile, Brian Vickers having a well overrun. They told him on the radio a moment ago, race that 39. That's who you need to worry about for the win. I think you're faster than the 21. Fuel right now, not an issue. For Ryan Newman, the car, very good. He has 4 spotters checking him out around this racetrack. They made some contact earlier, but very happy with the chassis right now for Ryan Newman. Tony Stewart, the car very good. They asked him about the fender damage. He said, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Moving their way to the front for Tony Stewart. He's a little tight in the left-handers, but he's very good in the right-handed turns for Tony Stewart. Martin Truex Jr., they've checked about the water temperatures. Everything fine, everything A-OK. Chassis-wise, he just wants a little more grip, but everything's fine. Dave?
Paul Menard got a wedge adjustment on his car in the last stop, and afterwards, crew chief Danny Stillman said, guys, give me the best fuel reading ever. Well, I asked him a moment ago if they got it, and was it positive? They said yes. The 11 car will be good on fuel to the end. The 77 car of Travis Quamble, they can go as well. We talked about him getting laps on this track. Again, they've accomplished that goal. They hope they can make it to the end. Marty?
Dave, remember earlier in the race, Joe Nemechek had a carburetor problem. They have now fixed that. They found their way in the top 10. He said the car working very well. Chassis-wise, we're fine. Just that carburetor problem earlier really hurt us. He's trying to go around the 77 car. Matt?
Tyler Walker, the 38 car, having an impressive run, currently runs in the 9th position. Now he says the car is a little on the loose side, but okay, this team feels like from their calculations, they can make it all the way.
Very nice drive for Jorge Getters in his 3rd NASCAR Busch Series start out of Mexico City, running in 11th place right now. These the guys that tried to make it a one-stop race. They pitted at lap number 42 and looked to try and go the rest of the way on fuel, Dave.
That's the same lap that Carl Edwards pitted. I just checked in their pit. Crew chief Brad Parrott told me they're good on fuel, and the car, G-R-E-A-T, great for Carl Edwards. He's passing cars now, guys.
Did you see that move that Getters made going in the inner loop?
Yeah, there's a big hole right there, and if you look back at the right front fender, it's knocked up and knocked out.
Yeah, I think he got in that hole.
Burton leads. Vickers looking at him. As you look at Vickers, you know, you try and keep an eye on Robbie Gordon here. What do we figure? He's like 12 positions in 8 laps or something.
Yeah, he's definitely on the move. I know the further up he gets, the harder they're going to be to pass.
Right, but he definitely needs a caution to bunch up the field.
Oh yeah, he's got no chance without a caution.
And Kevin, your car with Tony Stewart, the last few times has been the fastest car. This first 4 cars, he's back up to speed again.
Yeah, he ran the fastest lap that time by, so he's always one of those guys that the longer it goes, the better off he's going to be, and always, you know, maintains his pace a lot better than most people. So he's definitely looking good.
Stewart in the 33, looking at Newman in the 39. On board with Tony Stewart. Winner of the Brickyard last Sunday, and still sky high. That's a pretty neat feeling winning that Brickyard race.
Yeah, winning the Brickyard is the best, one of the best feelings I've ever experienced in my life. And I didn't grow up there as Tony did, and you know, for him, I told Todd Barrier this morning that he probably could have won that race and flipped over in every other race and still be the happiest guy in the garage. So it's you know, it means a lot to a lot of people, but growing up there, it means a lot to him.
He told me Monday was the greatest day of his life. I said, Tony, now that's a lot. He said, I'm telling you, the greatest day of my life.
The year I won, he called me and left me a message, and I can't tell you exactly what he said, but basically it was, dang it.
Why wasn't it me?
Why wasn't it me? And, you know, he's been so close.
Tyler Walker. Still under green. He's trying to get it refired. This is down in turn 1. It's the new runoff area a year ago. Asking if it's engine or transmission. He's got it. Now, a year ago, he would have been in the kitty litter down there.
Yeah, we would have had a caution right there, but there's a lot of skid marks out there. He's not the only one that's been out there.
And Tyler Walker gave up the 8th position with a spin down in turn 1.
Yeah, he's not the first guy or the last guy this weekend to be down there. Vickers all over Burton. Then Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart. Looking back at Vickers, 20 to go. Vickers has been good, but so has that 21 car.
Yeah, I mean, if the 21's got enough gas, which they say they do, you know, they definitely had the right strategy. So that's worked out well for them.
Now the backstretch, headed for the inner loop. These guys running single file are definitely putting some space on the rest of the field.
Yeah,
Mark Truex 6 seconds behind these top 4.
I'm not so sure that grill opening didn't affect the handling of his car a little bit. Whether probably made it tight. Just you know, it's just not as efficient as it was before.
Vickers thinking about it, still thinking about it, but not quite there. Boy, it has been a tough season for Jeff Burton in the Nextel Cup Series.
Yeah, you know, they've ran well.
Yep.
You know, for the most part, just had terrible luck. He's it seems like anytime there's a wreck or somebody that runs over the smallest thing on the racetrack, it seems like Jeff's been the unfortunate one to have had been the one to receive it. So they've been unlucky, and he's been a great teammate. He's brought a whole different aspect to RCR and given me everything I could ask for out of a teammate. So we've tried to do the same back.
And he's fun to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, he's so knowledgeable and just loves to talk racing and the business of the sport.
Yeah, he knows what's going on. So it's definitely a lot of fun to have him a part of the team, and he's not short on his opinion, and that's good. I like that.
So Brian Vickers brings him back across the start finish. 15 to go.
Who would have thought at the start of the day that Brian Vickers would be out in front of this race? I mean, everybody was talking about Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman and all these road race guys. Here he is, you know, just a few laps from the end of the race, 15 to go here, and leading the race, pulling away.
Robbie Gordon has worked his way back up to 8th. But if he doesn't get a caution, he's not going to sniff the lead.
And Robbie Gordon in the 55 car. He is consistently the fastest car.
Yep.
But he's 12.5 seconds behind this group of cars. And the only way to narrow that gap is a caution flag.
Yeah, and he was 0.6 of a second, basically faster than the leader that lap.
Wow. Brian Vickers leads. 21 is second. We check in on Jeff Burton with Dave.
And Jeff's been sort of murmuring something all day that he really just confirmed after he got passed by Brian Vickers in the very hard braking turn number 1, and that is that he has sort of a lack of brakes today. It's been a weak spot for him. He's mentioned it. The car really came to life handling-wise when they added air pressure to both rear tires midway through the race the last time they stopped, but the brakes have been the issue for Burton today.
And you do use a tremendous amount of brakes at this racetrack because you're traveling at such a high rate of speed and got to slow it down so dramatically.
Yeah, going into this turn 1 right here, I mean, it's downhill. You're running 160 miles an hour, and you basically, you know, have to go down to second gear. So there in the inner loop are heavy braking.
I'll tell you this morning during Busch qualifying, Brian Vickers was out on the grid talking to Boris Said and Scott Pruitt, and that's exactly what they were talking about, braking and wheel hop.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to talk to somebody, those are two of the best. We got a spin coming off last corner here, the 20 car.
Yes, we do. Denny Hamlin in traffic, trying to get it pointed in the right direction.
And he does.
We stay green. Dave?
Might not have been of Denny's own doing. He mentioned he might have gotten a little contact from the 14 car.
Well, I saw some damage in the rear of the car now. Looks like the back on the right rear, just a little bit of a dent.
It doesn't take much. You know, these cars are on the edge anyway, and anything that will help will put you around. Ryan Newman pressuring Jeff Burton here.
Big time.
Yep, this is for second.
Oh,
there he goes.
wow. Baby.
And Tony Stewart's going to try and follow. Wow.
Tony almost had a dirt track and get down in turn one.
No brake, guys. I can't go in the corner like I need to. Tempo, do the best you can, man. We'll be fine here.
That's Jeff Burton talking about the braking problem that Dave had alluded to.
You saw Tony, the back of Tony's car jump out right there, and when he's under heavy braking like that, these things have a lot of rear braking in them, and he probably just got a little bit of wheel hop, and luckily he saved it.
So Ryan Newman in his first Busch Series road course race up to second. He has 5 top 10 finishes in 7 of his Cup road races. He was second here back in 2002. Boy, Vickers is gone.
Yeah, he's definitely pulled out to a lead there.
2.5 seconds over Ryan Newman.
See if we can find out what happened with the 20 car. It's Hamlin, and that's the 14 behind him, and they're going into the turn.
Barely touched him, but it's not the best place to pass right there. And
whoa!
Unfortunately, he wasn't really far enough up to make that pass.
Well, Brian Vickers had the outstanding run at the Brickyard a week ago, 3rd in the All-State 400. Now a strong run here in the Busch Series on a road course.
Yeah, and right now he's hoping that there's no cautions because the 2 guys behind him are really good getting into turn 1, it looks like.
Marty?
Yeah, and Brian talked to me this morning about why to run this road course race. He said, I volunteered to run this road course race because I need experience. You know, we were going to run the race anyway, and I said, let me drive. I would love to get some experience. Didn't get to test here like a lot of other teams did. He said, this race will really provide some information for me tomorrow. He said, I don't feel like I'm a very good road course racer. He said, I just need some experience on how to shift, how to do things like that. And actually, this is his first ever Busch Series road course race, being a former Busch Series champion. You would think he'd have run one, but they didn't run road course races back when he was in the Busch Series. And obviously the experience paying off, leading with 12 to go, Bill.
You're not kidding.
Well, and it's great that he can win. Yes, it is great that he can win, but the experience is for tomorrow's race.
There's Newman. These guys racing today already, thinking about tomorrow.
Marty, looks like this 39 might be gaining just a little bit on the 5.
A little bit every lap, and I talked to Roy McCauley, the crew chief, about that. I said, he looks like he's gaining on him. He said, oh yeah, he's gaining on him. I just don't know if we have enough time. He said, Ryan, extremely happy with the chassis, so do they have enough time to catch the 5 cars? The question, 11 laps? I don't know, BP.
I don't either.
And now it's 10. Menard in 6th, Robbie Gordon in 7th. You guys have been together for a long time today, it seems like.
I'm impressed with how much ground Robbie Gordon has made up. I would never thought that he made that much up. I mean, he's ready to pass 6th.
Yep. Restarted 25th. Made it all up under green. He's chasing Menard through the inner loop. Dave?
And Paul's having a pretty good run. Every lap he hears a voice very familiar to him as he, whoa, little bobble right there. This may be Gordon's opportunity coming off of this corner. But every lap he hears his dad's voice because his dad is here. Millionaire John Menard is spotting for his son in the S's today.
Hey, here you need 3 or 4 spotters, so whoever shows up, you put them to work.
This is 6. Across the start-finish line. 9 to go for those guys. Vickers continues to lead. Robbie's going to look inside right here and not get there. Marty.
Yeah, Bill, they're talking on the radio, and when they tell Robbie every lap, they talk in terms of how much he gained on the leaders that lap. That was another second. That was 6/10. That's how they're giving Robbie his lap times. And obviously, he's driving his heart out right now, trying to get to the front. And very impressive run after he took on those tires to get back up to 7th and trying to take 6th. That's quite an impressive rally by Robbie Gordon.
You're not kidding.
Well, I mean, he's got the fastest car, but you know,
by far.
I mean, it's not even close to anybody else. I mean, how much faster it is, but We talked about it time and time again before the race started. Fuel mileage, pit strategy, or what it all comes down to. And even if you have a fast car, you can't win unless you have that.
So I got a question for you. How good's your fuel mileage in that 29 car?
Well, you know, we made 3 or 4 laps in practice, and that's all we did. But we did do a fuel mileage reading, and it looked better than it had in the at Sears Point. So hopefully we've made an improvement there.
Marty, you got some more?
Yeah, Bill, I was just going to say this is good practice for Robbie for tomorrow, because in tomorrow's race he starts, what, 39th or something like that? And that's what he just said on the radio to the crew. He said, well, at least I'm getting ready for tomorrow doing this.
He's got him a position.
He's got him. All right, Robbie Gordon goes up to the 6th position.
And Robbie Gordon would have had a much better starting spot. But qualifying rained out with just a handful of cars remaining earlier today, so the field was set by the rule book. And that's why Robbie's in the back. This is for the lead.
Ryan Newman has brought that 39 car right up behind Brian Vickers. Just a couple of car lengths behind him.
Hey, Marty. I think they might have enough laps.
I think they might have enough laps to catch him. Do they have enough fuel now is the question.
That's what I'm wondering. Does the 39 have enough fuel?
And how wide can Brian Vickers make that car?
Oh, on the outside?
Wow.
On the outside?
Ryan Newman on the outside of Vickers for the lead at start-finish.
How?
I can't believe the 5 let him go around that easy for the lead.
Trouble.
Matt Kobiluck, the 50 car, is back, and the caution flag is out.
Full course caution. Robbie Gordon, 6th last time by.
Uh-oh, those boys got trouble now.
Yes, they do.
Trouble just walked in.
Oh, and wow, Tyler Walker.
And that's a hard hit right there.
Yes, it is.
Now, Robbie Gordon is not going to have many laps to get by these guys.
You're right, because it's going to take a while to
clean up this mess.
You can see Tyler moving around in the car.
There we see Kobiluck, the red nose, and
wow,
man. That was not a very good place to try to pass, was it?
That's in the S's, right?
Yeah.
See Tyler Walker.
Okay, they're going to put the caution lights back on, the yellow flag back out. So we're going to step aside briefly, then we'll come back, take you to the checkered flag here at Watkins Glen. Can Ryan Newman hang on? Can Vickers or Stewart catch him? Goes on Newman.
Okay, we see Robbie Gordon gets on the inside of Mark Truex, takes a spot away.
Vickers all over the bumper of Newman. Charge up through the S's now. Newman and Vickers. Then Tony Stewart. Jeff Burton in the 21 car. Talked about it. He has a braking problem. Tony Stewart looking inside of Vickers.
That's what Newman wants to see right there. He wants to see those guys start racing and pull out to the lead.
Robbie Gordon checking inside of the 21. And there's Joe Nemechek looking at the 87. Nemechek looking at the 11, rather, in the 87. Newman leads in the 39. Robbie Gordon in the 55 has been the fastest car for about the last 50 laps. The fuel mileage hurting him. Now trying to make up ground with 2 to go.
Oh, Jeff Burton uses all the racetracks, some of the dirt. All right, here comes Robbie Gordon on the inside of Burton.
With Truex in tow.
Burton just cannot get down into the braking zones. They're just beating him up bad under braking.
Truex trying to look inside the 21. Newman trying to pull away. Robbie Gordon trying to catch the fast guys. Wait a minute, he is the fast guy.
He is the fastest
yes,
guy.
Yes, he is. He was fastest last time by.
Yep.
Lap and a half to get it done.
Oh, see, Casey Kane, the 6 car. Looks like he's made contact with someone in the inside wall on the S's or the backstretch, I should say. Like he has a car going again.
Yep. Truex looking at the 21 of Jeff Burton. There's your leader, Ryan Newman. Truex making the move on the outside of the 21.
White flag.
Last lap at the Glen. Waited 2 hours for this lap. 2 hours in a rain delay, and now 81 laps later. Here we go. Robbie Gordon inside of Tony Stewart. About 2 miles to go.
Tony tried to come back in turn 2, but could not quite find enough speed.
Final time through the S's.
Ryan Newman, he just, when Tony and the 5 got there racing, he just got out to a good lead there. Been able to keep it, so.
Last trip through the inner loop. Now the carousel. Robbie Gordon just running out of race. Ryan Newman, fast car. Good day.
Check this out.
Yep.
Check this out.
For
Robbie
second.
Gordon on the outside. Is that going to work? It did work.
Final turn right here. Ryan Newman through turn 7. Robbie Gordon's going to run out of race. That was fun to watch. Ryan Newman comes home the winner at Watkins Glen.
That was a great comeback by Robbie Gordon, though. I mean, he did a good job.
I don't think Tony Stewart and Brian Vickers are happy with each other.
Yeah, that's probably from the little interloop deal. These guys are wound up, but not much you can do about it after the race.
You're the road course guy. That was an impressive pass for the win.
Yeah, I mean, Brian was driving a great race, and he just kind of overdrove it there a little bit. We capitalized, but great run by these guys. Roy made a great call. Ran out of fuel on the coast down lap there, and actually coasted into here. Motor was dead. So I think the guys at the engine company, guys that helped put this together, Don Miller, Roger Penske, and just look forward to more good things to come tomorrow.
How worried were you about that restart, Ryan?
I was more worried about running out of fuel, actually. I knew once we got, I'm pretty good with qualifying fuel and out front and clean air, so I just was kind of hoping we had enough fuel to make it to the end.
Ryan Newman wins on the road course at Watkins Glen.